Hi fight fans! In this video, I want to talk about which fighter in the lightweight division has the perfect style for beating Oliveira. According to many MMA analysts, there is one fighter who has the perfect style for that, and it's not someone who is ranked in the top 5, neither a young prospect, but a UFC veteran. So the question is, who is this fighter? Islam Makhachev or who? You will be surprised, but this is Conor McGregor. Or is he the worst matchup for the unofficial UFC champion Charles Oliveira? Why do they think so? Let's see. It's very interesting. In the past few years, the UFC lightweight division has become the most exciting division to watch, and for a good reason. That's a category of killers, an unpredictable division where anyone can beat anyone in the top 10. Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Islam Makhachev and Michael Chandler are just a few of the names who are championship material, not to mention the new rising prospects like Rafael Fiziev, Arman Tsarukyan and Mateusz Gamrot. A new pack of young, hungry wolves eager to take over the division by storm. Nevertheless, as many like to say, the champion has a name and his name is Charles Oliveira. Seems like still we all fond to look at him as the real lightweight champ, even though his title was taken away after he was not able to make weight going into the title fight against Justin Gaethje. Being such a dominant champion in a division full of killers, his superior striking and outworldly grappling credentials, the 11th fight winning streak, and ability to finish fights earn him a reputation of a respected champion and a hard puzzle to solve. But then we come to the question, which fighter in the lightweight division has the perfect style for beating Oliveira? Is it Islam Makhachev with his superior wrestling, sambo credential and nasty ground and pound? Or would some new prospect like Rafael Fiziev or Arman Tsarukyan be able to dethrone the uncrowned champ? According to the MMA analyst Charles Oliveira and Michael Bisping, there is one fighter who has the perfect style for that, and it's not someone who is ranked in the top 5, neither a young prospect, but a UFC veteran. So the question is, who is this fighter? Just a fairy tale or a real threat with an ideal style? According to Bisping and Sonnen, Oliveira's kryptonite is nobody else but the one and only Conor McGregor. Many would think that they're just trying to hype this fight, that McGregor doesn't stand a chance. Conor McGregor is as good of a striker as the sport has ever seen, continued the American gangster, who is now an ESPN pundit, pointing out that if someone has the ideal style of beating the uncrowned champ Oliveira, it's Conor McGregor. In a matchup that many would see as a classic striker versus a grappler fight, on the question of how would Conor deal with Oliveira's ground game, here's what he had to say. Conor can handle himself on the ground. Conor can take care of himself on the feet. The in-between has been a problem with very high-level guys. Sonnen is known to be an expert in hyping and selling fights. He is so good at talking that he can literally sell sand to an Arab. So is this another trying to sell a fight statement or a sincere and honest analysis? Speaking of which, he's not the only one sharing this opinion. The former middleweight champion and UFC commentator Michael Bisping believes that the Irishman truly has a chance of winning. I think that would be the biggest fight for Conor McGregor. Talk about that, could you imagine? What a story. To go on the losing streak he has, but then to come back and knock out Charles Oliveira, a man that's beating Chandler, Gaethje, Poirier. The storyline would be absolutely sensational, and I don't care what you say. It's a fight Conor McGregor actually has a chance of winning, said Bisping in a video he posted on YouTube. If Conor comes back and beats Oliveira, that would be like a scenario from a movie. But let's take a closer look into their styles and see if Conor is such a big underdog going into this possible matchup. Style makes fights. No matter how good a fighter can be, there will always be a weakness, an Achilles heel that the opponent can capitalize on. Maybe not many have noticed, but Charles Oliveira has very bad eyesight. Even he himself confirmed that when he fights, he literally sees 3 opponents. In the movie Rocky, when Rocky would complain that he's so beat that he sees 3 opponents, his coach Mick would tell him, hit the one in the middle. Who knows, maybe Oliveira took a piece of advice from Coach Mick's book. And so far he's doing great, winning 11 fights in a row and finishing 10 of them. But his bad eyesight can be a real problem against Conor. And by real, I mean a very serious problem that can get him knocked out cold. Let's take a look at Oliveira's last 3 opponents and what they have in common. Michael Chandler drops Oliveira with a punch in the first round. Oliveira recovers and finishes him in the second via TKO. Dustin Poirier drops him with a punch too, only to get submitted via a rear naked choke in the third. And lastly, Justin Gaethje hurts Oliveira early. Oliveira recovers again and finishes him with a submission later in the first round. This is not a coincidence. Oliveira gets punched a lot, gets dropped very often, and his bad eyesight sometimes leads him to go straight into the fire, absorbing unnecessary punches. The problem here if he fights Conor is, if Conor lands his left straight clean into Oliveira's chin, that would be a game over. In the previous fights, Oliveira could afford to take the risks, to get punched, because even when he was dropped, no sane person would dare to finish him off on the ground, since entering into his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world is the same as trying to enter the ocean to wrestle a great white shark. So what's the big deal here? Oliveira can do what he does best, keeping the pace, pressuring Conor, and if he gets dropped, he'll recover and keep going, right? Well, not really. The difference between Conor and all previous Oliveira's opponents is that Conor possesses that one-punch knockout power. If Conor drops Oliveira, probably he won't be conscious to recover, but knocked out cold. His bad eyesight might lead him directly to Conor's straight left hand, and we all know what happened to Jose Aldo when he rushed into Conor's left. Not only that, but Conor has very good defensive wrestling. Oliveira is not a strong offensive wrestler like Khabib or Makhachev, which means that if he doesn't manage to take Conor down or take his back while scrambling, this might be the worst possible matchup for the uncrowned champ. In such scenario, Conor would keep throwing straight and precise punches, and only take his one clean left straight to knock Oliveira out. Taking into consideration that this would most probably be a 5-round fight, there is a huge chance that Conor connects at least once within that 25 minutes. The real question is, will Oliveira be able to withstand it, or would we see the Notorious winning a belt again? We can never know for sure until this fight happens, and if it does, this will be one of the most anticipated fights in UFC history.